It's summer, which means a nice, easy, and refreshing summertime treat is in order, and today we are doing just that with this beginner-friendly peach cobbler. And guys, this is Eating America, and we're continuing our trip into the American South to my place of birth, Georgia. And growing up in Georgia, I ate a lot of peach cobbler growing up. It was one of my favorite things. I mean, after all, Georgia is the peach state. So we're going to be making some of those iconic nostalgic peach cobblers that I grew up with, trying to get it as close as possible. And guys, if you like stuff like this, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So let's go down to Georgia and make some peach cobbler.
And we start off by melting down 1 stick of unsalted butter in a 375 degree oven. Now, of course, you could zap this in the microwave if you want, but this way allows me to finish everything at about the same time. And in a cold pan, we're going to drop in 2 cans of sliced peaches that have been thoroughly drained. And guys, please use the ones in juice. The ones in syrup are kind of the enemy here. Then we're going to hit this up with our pie-like filling flavors. That begins with 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, and then a 1/2 cup of packed dark brown sugar for color and flavor. And then we're going to warm this whole thing up with 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon and a teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, I know a lot of recipes out here on YouTube jazz this filling up with ginger and other pie spices, but simple is southern, and this is enough to bring out all those warm and humid Georgia memories. And once everything is nice and combined, we're going to put this on a medium heat and allow this to come to a slow simmer. And while our filling is slowly starting to warm up, we're going to start working on our cobbler, which begins with 1 cup of all-purpose flour, to which we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar for sweetness. And then for some balance, we're going to drop in 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Basically, we're making our own self-rising flour. This is cheaper and more effective than buying a bag of self-rising that I'm only going to use once. Now, if you guys have that on hand, then I will leave instructions in the description on how much to use. And after all of our dry ingredients are well incorporated, we're going to go in with 1 cup of milk. Now, guys, you can use buttermilk if you like, but this works just fine. And we're going to add that in batches, making sure everything has been thoroughly incorporated before adding more. And at the end of this, I am noticing that this batter is still a bit too thick. While we want a thick batter, it still needs to be pourable so it can cover the whole dish. So what I'm going to do here is to thin it out even further with about 1/4 of a cup extra milk. And after that has been incorporated, as you can see, we have the results that we're looking for. This is just like pancake batter. And I almost forgot one secret ingredient, and that is 1 teaspoon of real vanilla extract. This crust does not need any additional seasoning, sugars, or spices. It needs to be something of a neutral sweetness to play off that very, very sweet filling. So the cobbler I'm making for you today is very much identical to the ones I grew up with in Georgia. And speaking of sweet fillings, we're returning our focus back to our peaches, and we're going to bring some balance to the equation by adding in the zest of 1 whole lemon. Just the zest, because as you can clearly see, we still have a ton of liquid in that pan to deal with, and that's really the drawback from using canned peaches. Even though we really strain those guys out, those peaches still have a lot of residual juices that are going to continue to render. So we're going to have to cook this sauce out for about 15 minutes. And at this point, our butter is fully melted and ready to roll. So all we're going to do from here is sit this out on the counter and allow it to cool for about 15 minutes or until it reaches room temperature. Then we're going to add in our cobbler batter. We can't do this while it's hot because it will start to pre-cook the crust and it will make it very hard and very unsatisfying to eat. So all we got to do now that the batter's in the pan is wait for those peaches to finish cooking. And if you feel like your peaches are taking a little too long to render down, you can do one of 2 things. You can add in a cornstarch slurry at this point, which I feel is a bit unnecessary. Or you can do what I do and crank this bad boy up to a medium-high heat during its last 5 minutes, and voila! Take a look at that sauce. It is beautifully reduced and perfectly syrupy, which is why I tell you guys not to use the peaches in syrup. You gotta think, those peaches already have a very heavy coating of corn syrup already on them, and if you add all those other sugars on top of that, it's going to be completely unbearably sweet. Unless you're looking for a slice of type 2 diabetes. I mean, you do you. And from here, we're going to start ladling in those perfectly cooked peaches all across the top of our established cobbler, making sure we leave no gaps in between. We want this packed corner to corner with this beautiful peaches. And then after we get that all nicely arranged, we're going to dump in that beautifully reduced peach sauce, making sure it gets everywhere in between those peaches and all throughout the cobbler. And after we've arranged our beautiful masterpiece, it's finally time to lovingly slam this into a 375-degree oven and allow it to bake for 35 to 40 minutes, or until a beautifully golden, crispy topped southern style treat emerges from the oven and looks just like this. This is a picture perfect peach cobbler, and as good as it looks, unfortunately, we're going to need to let this cool down to room temperature because the filling at this point is molten lava. And the long-awaited serving is upon us, and as you can see, my wife clearly couldn't wait to get her hands on a slice because there's already a piece missing. So we're going to give ourselves a nice hearty portion of this cobbler. And you know, a lot of people like to serve this with vanilla ice cream, but we're throwing it old school back to how it was when I was growing up. We always ate this as is, so let's give it a bite.
Alright guys, that is it. Would you take a look at that beautiful peach cobbler? And of course there's 1,000 ways to do this. Ideally you want to use fresh peaches, but this is just something quick that you can throw together, put in the oven on a warm day, and you don't really have to be laboring by the stove too much. It comes out absolutely perfect. But don't get me wrong, there's going to be a more from scratch version of this coming later. This is just something quick, easy, and delicious you can do on any given day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take our first bite. That's super good. That's better than I remember it, honestly. And I know a lot of folks like to put vanilla ice cream on top, which is absolutely a boss move. Now, I don't have any on hand, but also growing up in Georgia, this is very nostalgic for me because it was always about the cobbler. 95.5% of the time when we ate, peach cobbler growing up, no matter how we had it, it was always about the dessert. It was nothing on it. We just enjoyed it straight as is. And this is kind of like a kickback to my childhood that I'm sharing with you all today. This is special to me. Hopefully this will become special for you and you try this again. If there's any other states you would like to see us visit on this Eating America tour, just leave me a comment down below and I will get to them as soon as possible. As always, I love you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and make your summer just a little bit sweeter. See you in the next video.